Being a street track, it's all raining indeed as the sun is out actually, but there are on intermediate tyres. Whether that's a sign that the weather's going to improve is yet to be seen, but these lads have got to be careful in these wet conditions, of course tough conditions ahead of us. So it's be all about keeping the consistency. As you can hear the Englishman talking through all the details in the background, but we're going to be listening to my voice instead of his as we see who's the first out. It'll be interesting to see what happens in terms of the weather, whether it does improve or whether in actual fact we are just going to see a rain affected qualifying. As we do have a Renault on the way out first. Let's see if we can find who that is. That is Diablo on his one. He's actually really returned to league racing following an absence. It's nice to see him back. Of course, a very famous commentator in league racing, you've got to say. And now is back driving in what is a new league in the WXL. A new opportunity for him. Of course, difficult race for him at Australia. Here we're looking to change that today as he comes down towards turn number 3 on his outlap. This might actually be a good sign. He's actually carrying around about 5 laps of fuel, so we might be going for that 2 laps in qualifying. Of course, with this being rain affected, it'll be interesting to see what the guys do, is whether they actually do go for rain, sort of more rain setups with higher downforce, or whether they try and sort of stick it out with these low downforce setups that, of course, Azerbaijan can actually bring, because of course the massive straight, you don't want to be caught out going down there out of turn 20. Getting a good run out of 19 in towards turn 20. So we'll be all about keeping that consistency up as through turn number 6 he does come. Oh, turn number 7, my apologies. Now up towards the castle section, which of course turn 8, 9, 10, 11 and then 12. Up through 11, and like that it shoots you up like there's no tomorrow through turn number 12 on his outlap. Doesn't look like anyone is behind him for the moment. Of course his teammate it's Tommy on his debut, but I know for a fact, and of course the lad shooting from F1XL will know he is a very quick lad. Definitely someone to watch out for heading into this round. But of course you've got to get past some very quick opposition, VSR Smithson being one of them. It's now up towards turn number 16 he comes. Can be quite off-putting actually. If you have front wing damage you can massively understeer and end up all the way in that runoff section. Through 16, now through 17 and 18. Now this is quite difficult in the rain. Oh, he does get a bit of oversteer. Sliding through 19, he gets away with it, and then through 20, which is actually a corner. Now this massive long run towards turn 1. Of course, no DRS in these conditions, so it'll be interesting to see how the speeds get. He does hit 206 miles an hour. We do have a yellow flag in sector 1, breaking down towards turn 1. He misses the apex a little bit and is sliding on exit. Not a good turn 1 at all for Diablo as he comes up towards turn number 2 now. Taking that nicely in second gear. Of course, these lads probably not really used to this track in the wet, so it's going to take all about who can gain the trust in the track, who can really get their rhythm together to put that perfect lap in for qualifying, as he's on a massive long run down towards turn number 3, the second DRS zone, of course, this section now. Navi finds that one is actually Diablo kisses the wall there, out of 3 in towards turn number 4 now. Kisses the apex nicely, sort of run a little high, but short shifts up in the third there to make sure he gets probably a nice bit of traction up towards turns number 5 and 6. Of course, the turn 5 is that sort of roundabout-esque section and spits you out in towards turn number 6. Now this run down towards turn 7. You can actually cut this section quite nicely, but too much and it will punish you. Now towards the castle section comes the Renault driver. He has got the Sauber ahead of him, so he needs to be careful. That would be either Jack RT or Harley. So I'm pretty sure they shouldn't really get too much in his way. But another yellow flags in sectors 1 and 2. We will briefly stick on board with Diablo. Of course, we do see retirement. We will quickly jump on board to see what on earth has happened. Now as he comes through this tight section, which I can imagine is even more harder in these rain-affected conditions. Now through turn number 15, that difficult corner, which is very easy to sort of overweigh and hit the barrier. But Diablo gets it nicely. Now through 16, he comes, looks all but nice and cute. Now 17, 18, 19 and 20, all sort of rim of corners. 18 and 19 is very difficult in these conditions, and again he has spun it. Diablo has spun it. He's in the wall. He's got no front wing damage by the looks of it. How on earth has he got away with that? But that is surely going to be the end of his first lap. We'll go on board with last round's winner, VSR Smithson, the Mercedes. He slides his car through 16 and flies down in that lovely red helmet. He comes up towards turn number 18. He gets it nicely though, sticking in 6th gear for that, interestingly. Now through turn 20, and now it's just a massive long run down towards turn 1. KJ Gamer starts us off with a 55.3. What will last round's winner start us off with in the Mercedes course? It'll be a Mercedes 1-2 for the time being. He goes fastest with a 53.4, smashing KJ Gamer there on the first lap. We've got on board with JSR Snakes in the Red Bull, who looks to be the next man to complete. He's got Nick just ahead of him. Bit of slipstream, but this might actually help him quite a bit on the run up to the line. He has got a massive amount of slipstream, but he actually lets off the throttle a little bit there. And Nick up to the line. He sets a 57.7. JSR Snakes coming in with a 2-minute 2, and Harley dropping it there out of turn 6. As we just saw, it's Tommy on his debut, the Renault driver, putting in a 54.8 for his first lap, so not too bad by the Renault driver. He'll be rather happy with that lap. TRPT man who came on the podium last time out comes through the final few corners. Sector 1 yellow flag Coxey, who qualified second in this race, slots himself in second for now with 53.7. Now only 3 tenths off of Smithson, in fact less than that, just about 2 tenths. And then we have, who was that just to set time? WR Coffee on his first race, sets a 58.8. But now TRPT slotting in where he finished last time, in 3rd position with a 53.9. Good lap by the lad, he'll be happy with that. Going on board with, it looks like to be Harley. He's going to be the next man to set a lap in the Sauber. He comes through this final sequence of corners now. Yellow flag again in second. People keep making mistakes. These weather conditions, Harley sliding it at around about 180 miles an hour, but saves it just about. Gets away with it nicely. Now the massive long run up to the line. What will it be for the Sauber driver? Where will he slot himself? He goes into P6 for now with a 55.4, just under a tenth off of KJ Gamer. So not a bad first lap by him. Then on board with his teammate Jack Artiz. Another yellow flag in sector 3, and it's Tommy on his debut at the castle section. Appears to have potentially locked up there. Ended up in the runoff section there, which is obviously probably the best thing to do, because of course you have got the barriers. So he's probably done the right thing for himself there. Up to the line comes Jack RT, as the weather does look to be improving. Looks like the rain is a lot less than what it was at the start of the session. Whether someone might see dry tyres coming in the session, we'll have to wait and see. Up to the line comes Jack RT. He goes P5 at 54.9, just a tenth off of it, Tommy. Not a too bad lap by the Sauber drivers. Everyone appears to be making their way into the pits. Whether this is a sign the weather is improving and maybe might be considering dry tyres near the end of the session. As you can see, just by looking at Little Ryler, look at the weather conditions now, they're definitely a lot better. So the question is, who will gamble it though? Who will be the first to make that call? Little Ryler, the Ferrari, currently isn't fancying the gamble. He's through turn number 3, he comes up towards turn number 4. And it looks okay so far from Little Ryler, nice and smooth of course, as Diablo has changed his tyres to the Super Softs for his selected tyre for qualifying. So it'll be interesting to see what he does, and whether he doesn't pop out in the pits. We'll have to keep an eye on his lap times, because of course this will be a session now where whoever can get that lap in the last, and when the track's at its best, will end up on pole position surely, or have the best shot through towards the castle section. He comes now. DRS is enabled, so that's a sign that the dry tyres are shortly better. As Little Ryder almost clips the wall there. Now the question is with Little Ryder, will he dive it into the pits? The other fantastic with that is Jack RT. As you can see there, the Sauber just on board with Little Ryder. That kind of came across nicely. Shifted over nicely for us. And as through this section he comes now. Little Ryder slide. And Little Ryder JSR Snakes has also decided the Super Softs as they come through the corner. Oh, he's sliding. Surely this has got to be a sign to him to say, right, dive it in. Get that set of dries on and maybe potentially come out and see if you can set a decent lap on a dry compound. Or will he just not gamble it and just stay out on these inters? Because of course he will have DRS compared to everyone else on their laps, so this could potentially be a good time to sort of slowly caress his way through these few corners and dance it up through the gears, puts it in lean, so surely he'll come into the pits with a set of dry tyres. Everyone is putting on dry tyres. We do have JSR Snakes being the first one to test it on the Super Soft compound, so a very interesting second round qualifying here with this dry, wet to dry period. It's going to be all about who's got the most amount of willpower and who has the most amount of tactics to get their lap across in the driest conditions. There's 2 minutes 49 to go, so these lads might want to time it so they get out. JSR Snakes has plenty of time to get around and set a lap, so he hasn't got to worry about time. He can just worry about just learning the track, getting used to these conditions, because of course it's very far from perfect. But he'll do his best to try and line himself up on pole position. Currently sitting P10, so surely he wants to find some more time as he comes up towards turn number 6. We'll just stick on board, see what happens. Everyone else is starting to make their way out. Smithson, KJ Gamer, TRPT, all making their way out. Coxey as well. Tommy, everyone diving it out. Everyone seeing the opportunity to get their laps in near the end of the session. Little Right shifts to the super soft. Will he be able to get out in time? Now that's the question. That's a long way out of the pits. He might not make it. It's going to be touch and go for him, most definitely. There's a good point, Esky. You know, potential strategy on the mediums, but of course in qualifying, you know, the tyres are a lot more different than what they usually are. You know, in terms of the race, you know, the qualifying tyres, you know, the times are normally a lot different. But it is a good suggestion to try the mediums. In terms of obviously with it being the colder temperatures on the track, of course they are a lot better race tyre and a lot better at this transition. As Jack RT has retired, and this is quite a crucial time. This is when time should be starting to come down. We'll stay on board with Snakes as he starts his lap. He's the one that everyone will be keeping their eyes on. DRS enabled, down towards turn 1. He'll already be fastest because, of course, no one had the amount of DRS. He locks up into turn 1, gets it nicely, though, as he comes out of 1. And just look at the amount of difference he has in terms of pace at the moment. Through 2, he locks up a little bit on the front left, but he gets away with it, and it's looking fine. No, he hasn't DRS enabled a little bit too late there, but he's okay for now. As he comes up towards Sector 1 split. We'll have to keep an eye on what Smithson's first sector was in the wet compared to what he's about to do. We should expect to see miles quicker. By the looks of things, it'll just be a matter of who can get their lap in the last. It looks like as if JSL Snakes will not have enough time to set another lap, so this will be his only lap, so he needs to not make a mistake, get a good lap time in here, so he can just do his best to slot in a decent spot. Through towards turn number 7 he comes. And the pressure's on now. Here's the tough section, the castle section, the section that has so many victims in the past, but he is not going to be one of them. We do have a bit of the gears glitch a little bit, but he gets away with it as he comes out of turn 12 through 13 now, then 14, and then lastly we do have turn number 15. As I'm just not going to stay on board, I'm just going to stick on the spectator cameras. As out of turn number 15 he comes up towards turn 16. And he is going to set decent lap by the looks of things so far. The checkered flag is out. Little Roy will not set another lap. As now we're on board with the man who will be the first to complete his lap. He wants a Little Roy. Oh my goodness me. A huge crash with Little Roy. Because Little Roy is out of qualifying, but he's just collided at 200 miles an hour with JSR Snakes. So Snakes will not improve after a huge incident with Little Roy, but of course that's nothing to do with Little Roy. It's not his fault. Because of course he wasn't actually, you know, controlling that at all. TRPT, the man who is currently P3, and these conditions continue to prove. You just see no spray anymore. There's Little Roy's car. Oh, that was close between the two there. He very nearly ran onto the back of him. And here comes PT, of course. He will be the first man to set these times in these dry conditions. What will it be for PT? He sets the times off with a 43.9. He starts this tumbling of times. KJ Gamer up to the line of the Mercedes. Good chance for him to put a decent impression on here. And it's going to be a 44.6 for him. His teammate just behind him, VSR Smithson. Pressure's on his shoulders, of course. Winner of last round. Chance to go on pole position again. He tops the times of 42.3. Fantastic lap. All guys go on behind him. It's Tommy up to the line now. He's going to try his best to upset on pole and do his best for this round. Diablo goes second for the moment with a 43.8. Tommy up to the line. He goes second with a 43.1. No one yet to break into the 42s other than Smithson for the moment. 8 attempts clear on pole position. What about the man who started alongside him the last time out? Coxey. He's only managed a 44.4. Disappointing lap for him. He'll be very happy with that. And Nick Moratti, the last man to come up towards the line in the Ferrari. And he moves up in towards P. It doesn't look like he actually improved there. He might have invalidated his lap. And that is that. So Smithson on pole by over 8 tenths there. Wow. So Smithson yet again on pole position for the second time in WXL and lines up in a very cracking position to make it 2 from 2, but he's got a lot of work ahead of him. It's Tommy the debutant, second place, the only man to get closest to the 42s in second place in the Renault. Then comes the other Renault of Diablo with a 43.4. Then looking further down the grid, we do have Dasher and PT, the 2TR lads, 5th and 6th. Coxey in 7th. KJ Gamer, the last lad on the Supersofts, in 8th. Then on the intermediates, we have Jack RT, Harley, Annie Morati, WR Coffee, JSR Snakes, and lastly Little Rye, who did not set a lap. So, different strategies. Of course, the guys who are in the top 10 but are not on the intermediates still have the fresh choice of tyres if it doesn't rain. We could be on some rain here in the race. We'll have to find out as we get ready for the second round of the WXL, the World Acceleration League. I am your host, F1XL Nut Head, and I'm very excited to bring this to you. And we do have a dry race. The sun is out, it's shining away, and these lads, these 14 lads, are ready to get us underway. As the ESR Mate has jumped in, so it's lovely to see the Force India driver, and we're all ready to go as the first ticks are being placed. Of course, no formation lap in this league, so we will go straight up to racing in this race, and I am very excited to bring this to you. Like I said before, I am your host, F1XL Nut Head. This is round number 2 of the WXL. This is your Azerbaijan 3. As we build up now towards those 5 red lights ahead of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. It's 5 red lights on now, and it is now lights out and away we go. Decent start on the front row there by VSS Smith, as well as it's Thomas. They're going towards turn number 1. Need a decent camera shot as they come up towards Tommy, trying to get into contact there between Smithson and Thomas. They come for a bit of lag as they do dive in through. Now Jack Cotti, somebody's ready as they come towards turn number 3, but the Williams driver of TRPT has got past DR Dasher. There's a contact as well between the 2 runners. They're both in the wall at turn number 2. Tommy and Diablo both in the wall, give front wing damage for the pair of them as they do come flying down towards turn number 3. It is indeed still Smith in the lead from Dasher. Then comes Pete just behind him to the 2 Williams, climbing 2 positions off the start. Coxey up in P5, KJ Gamer trying to go to the inside on turn number 4. He looks like a decent start for him. Harley in P7. Then comes Tommy with a poor start down in P8 and his front wing damage. So lad who started second on his first race has an awful start, and that is the end of that as they come towards this corner. There's a bit of a glitch appearing to go on here, but Chakoti is still registered in the race leaders. KJ Gamer is down, is struggling. Here he is, Harley gets a fantastic move done there through turn number 7 and is up into P5 for now, climbing back up through the field. Decent start there for him. He's up 4 positions, but everyone else up 2. Smithson holding the lead by 2 seconds now on lap number 1. 2 Williams just behind each other. They've got to work together here as a team as they come through turn number 15. And yes, I do have to agree that it looked like as if he did spin off the back. My apologies, I had no idea what was happening at that start. It was just too chaotic for me to really contact, because it's so hard to spectate coming through turn 2. But PT is all over the back of his 5 teammate of Dasher, the 2 Thrive Esports lads. I can guarantee that all the lads, Bosley, all the Thrive lads are sitting in their settees watching this stream, nervous as the 2 Williams are about to go head to head as they come towards turn number 1. Dasher shifting the inside, PT to the outside. Who will be on top there side by side? The 2 Williams, they've got to be careful. Coxey's right behind. Through turn 1 they come. It looks like PT might get a much better edge on the outside. Dasher will keep his nose in and go going towards turn number 2. Can he get a move done? He cannot, but PT keeps sticking his nose in. There's a bit of contact as well as they come out of turn 2. Dasher still on the inside, PT still on the outside. We'll stick him up with Coxey. You get a fantastic view of this battle. So we're up towards turn number 3. Can he get the move done? It's still PT versus Dasher. Who will get it in the end? Dasher finding it lovely down the inside and keeps that P2 for now. Looking behind, Harley looks on the offensive against Coxey through turn 4. Poor exit by PT. Coxey sees full opportunity through 5 and 6 now. Can he get it up for this roundabout section? Through he comes, and he is side by side. He's still side by side through turn 6. Squeeze him up, Harley. Now trying to get him off for P7 just behind him. All able to do so, slots in behind for now. There comes what's happened. He dived it down the inside of Coxey. What a fantastic dive bomb that was from him, and he gets the move done. Fantastic with the driving by the salvage run, take full advantage of Coxey's offensive, and he's up in a P4 for now, starting P9. What a start by the lad. Whew. It's good to be back. Look further back, KJ Gamer, all at the back of Coxey just put the wall out of 15. Tommy might see the opportunity now to try and get past him as well. Through 15, they come, he bumps over the curve. KJ Gamer all over the back of him now. Through towards 16, will he try a dart? He does try and move down the inside. Thrombing damage for Tommy, might hit him just a little bit. The Mercedes driver's down the inside. Now he's still on the inside. Surely not through turn 7, 18 and 19. He does get the move done. Fantastic driving by the Mercedes driver. And he's up in a P6. As Smithson sets the fastest lap against a 4.2 second lead over Dasher, then PT. 1.6 seconds behind him after the battle and they had. It looks like Tommy's just gone for a move back past KJ Game on the outside. Through turn number 1, he's got him right just behind. They're still side by side here. The Ferrari trying his best to get involved, and actually as well takes full advantage of Tommy, trying to go side by side with KJ Gamer and nicks the position. The Ferrari, fantastic bit of opportunistic driving. What about Jack RT? He is down the inside to the other Sauber driver. Harley currently in 4th. Now Jack RT trying to make himself a name. Up into P8 now, down the inside. What a dart that was, but brilliant switch back from Tommy. Fantastic beaking through towards turn number 4. There's a bit of contact there, but it looks like as if Jack RT has got a fantastic move done there, up into P8 for now, and might start looking in the back of Enigmarati on the soft compound tyres. And what a start it's been after a pretty mishmash getaway. We've had a decent few laps here of battling, and there's still 23 laps to go. Fantastic, the winner's yellow flag in sector F2, and actually it's the man who's just got a fantastic move done. Jack RT is the first victim of the castle section, and has got a long race ahead of him now with front wing damage and outside the points. So he's got a long drive ahead of him. The question is now, what about the guys up front? It looks like Coxey's going to stick to the back of Harley. Harley has that front wing damage on the front right, as you can see. He runs wide there out of 16. That's going to allow Coxey to close right up through 17. Now 18 and 19. Then last and 20. Look at the exit. Harley Coxey feeling defensive there out of 18 and through 19. He's gone for a much more slingshot approach. Now done towards 20. Now it's up towards turn 1. This massive long run. Surely Coxey's got the move done before he even hit the corner. DRS, of course, is enabled for him, so surely he should have the move done before they've even got there. Will Harley try a late lunge here? He thinks better of it. Tommy dives into the pits meanwhile, as JSR Snakes looking for a way past the Little Right. I think Little Right just got a move done there on him. Much better exit. One from JSR Snakes down around the outside for P8. This is for now. Little Right breaking so much later though, and fends it beautifully for now, as actually KJ Gamer has just now got past Harley as well for P5. Fantastic move by the Mercedes drivers. He continues to work his way up through the field one by one. JSR Snakes meanwhile still trying to get past through turn number 3, as is continuing to battle away. This is fantastic stuff early on, as Harley cuts that corner then picks up a 3-second time penalty in the process. And Enigmarati does have that damage on the front right as well as Harley. A lot of guys with front wing damage. This might allow his teammate Little Right to close right up as well. JSR Snakes as well. No front wing damage for him, so that'll be crucial for him as he almost hits the wall there through turn 7. Now through the castle section, everyone comes and it looks okay. Moving up back towards the leaders. Petey is starting to close back up again to his teammate after that Fulham battle they had on lap number 2. As they do come through now turn number 16, as it still continues to go down, as Coxey is not wanting to lose touch here with TRPT here to nick that final podium place for now. Of course, this is where Petey finished last time out, so we're looking to finish in that place again, as Harley looks to be struggling with that front wing damage just as much as Enigmarati is, as he will have the DRS run down towards turn number 1. It's an almighty run, so he could very much do it. Harley in the end shifts it and dives it into the pits, so he's going to run early start, whether to get that front wing changed as well in the process and just change his strategy a little bit. Still plenty of time left in this race, still anything that can happen. 5-second stop go as JSR Snakes also dives in the pits for speeding in the pit lane. So all the guys fancying early pits in at this Grand Prix, as Coxey is starting to really creep up on PT now. He's got to look behind him with PT, otherwise this race could be going from bad to worse. It's not been a great start for PT. Of course, he did climb up those positions, but probably not as many as he wanted to, as he is so amazed. Comes out, of course, he started in last place, but I believe he actually had to make a first lap pit due to damage. And actually as well, the two Renaults now, it's actually Tommy JSR Snakes just come out just ahead of Tommy, and I mean just. That is very close between them. I'll definitely keep an eye on that battle near the back. Of course, all these guys pitting early, that allows everyone to catch up. As actually, it seems to me as if Dasher taking that section very so. He might actually have damage there on the front right if you compare that to PT's front wing. So come up towards turn number 16. Josh, if you'd like to jump in, feel free. Just I want in view actually to see if you fancy jumping in. I don't know as you think. No, you're not online at the minute, mate. Why can't I find you? Oh, forget it for the moment. It's through towards turn number 20. He does come now. And indeed, it's looking like a three-way train at the moment, as PT is starting close to Dasher, but Coxey is closing up to PT. So it could be a three-way fight here for P2. Of course, Smithson now 6.3 seconds clear There's a reason why I'm not giving too much camera time, because it's just been an annihilation by the Mercedes so far. As Petey, a lot more slidey out of turn 1 for the moment. Through turn 2 he comes, and it looks all okay for the moment. There's actually Dasher there going to the inside, but Petey also following there to just pick up the slipstream, maybe try and work together. Of course, 2 Williams teammates, and of course Coxey and the Toro Rosso. He has nothing to do with this team. Of course, 2 Thrive teammates as well as 2 actual teammates, so they'll want to do their best to work together. There's actually ESR Amazed just past Harley Harley. He dives into the pits again as he's got more damage on that front right. He needs to keep it consistent. You know, there's a reason why he was on the podium last time out, and he just kept it clean and consistent. Here at the Baku circuit, the next street track on the calendar, he's not been able to do that. It's not been a good race at all for Harley, and it's just got even worse. Through the castle section, these 3 come now. And it's going to be all about who can keep it clean, who can keep it consistent, who's got the most amount of consistency about them. There's actually a little bit starting close to Nick Murray there, his teammate as well. We'll keep an eye on that battle. That's P6, but those 2 teammates going head to head. Little Rye as well, you've got to say he's had a very good start, climbing 6 positions, as well as actually all VSR Maze. The 2 lads on the back row to start us off are now 7th and 8th, so proving that consistency is key on the street track. Up towards turns 18 and 19, he comes now. And actually, PT is actually outside of DRS range, of Dasher, so now he's all on his own here. He's a little bit like a sitting duck for Coxey. It might be just a little bit too far back, but he's doing his best. He's closing right in though, up towards turn number 1. Instead, doesn't go for late lunge. That's a bit ridiculous. Really try and get the better exit out of turn number 2 and go for a move. It's actually JSR Snakes. Actually, little right making contact over his teammate. The 2 Ferraris have come together. Unbelievable stuff between the 2 Ferraris. But we'll go back up towards the battle for P3. Here he goes, Coxey shifted to the outside as PT went defensive early. Up towards turn number 3. Round the outside, Coxey's got to go. It's a long way round. And indeed he does. It looks like he might just maybe get a much better breaking through 4. He can squeeze him out. And he has, but he's done a bit more to squeeze. He's caused front wing damage. Massive amounts of front wing damage to that front left of that Williams. And now he's got a long walk back to the pits. This will allow KJ Gamer to surely pass in for P4. That was far too aggressive from Coxey. Yes, they're squeezing out, but then there's that as actually PT lets KJ Gamer through there nicely. And now, surely, will he do the same to the rest of the drivers? Just sort of be careful. But Coxey now in a P3, maybe not the way that he wanted to, but he is up in a P3 for now. As meanwhile, JSR Snakes go being passed there by ESR Amazed. Down, it's a massive dive bomb from Snakes. That was almighty from the lad coming through turn number 4 in the Red Bull. Up towards 5 and 6. Will Amazed do his best to defend? Yes, he will. Harley has binned it. The lad who came second. Now he's Amazed in the wall. He's got more front wing damage. More front wing damage to pick up. And Tommy happily takes it. Now he's Amazed does retire. So we've lost 2 guys in the space of about 2 corners there. Harley and ESR Amazed both out of this Grand Prix on lap number 7. Meanwhile, we head up towards this battle now. TRPT, of course, the slower driver, he'll shift to the left to allow him right to pass. Now it's Little Rye's turn to get past. He does just keep it on the inside just to sort of say, right, go past, I got front wing damage. He must be rather a little bit inside that cockpit, but now it's Little Rye's turn to get past his teammate. He had instant with him once, going in towards turn number 1. This is now for P5, remember. Down the inside, he goes with his teammate and shuts the door and says, right, that is my position, bud. And actually, you know, he makes more contact. Lily Murata making more contact with Little Rye. And now has massive amounts of front wing damage. And this race continues on in the carnage fest that it's been. But the top 3 still are undamaged. They have no damage to their front wing. Coxey, Dasher and Smithson respectively. All with nothing to their name. KJ Gamer does a bit of damage, but he's kept it more or less manageable and managed his damage well, and currently sits P4, so first and 4th for the 2 Mercedes. Good day for him, as HTRP has come out on the mediums. We'll have to keep an eye on where he comes up with regard to everyone else. We are getting near the first pit stop phase. Smithson with a 7-second lead already, and he actually clips the wall out turn 15. That's going to do him any justice. Up comes Dasher. Can he get it right? He does indeed. He gets it so much better than Smithson on that occasion. That's what it's all about. Clipping that inside barrier, but not hitting it too much, so you end up in the wall. That is what this track is all about, is just keeping it nice and clean, but also driving on that ragged edge, having the ability to say, yep, I'm going to go for it. As Little Rise starts to close up here to the other lap from him down KJ Gamer, because Little Rise is still on the soft compound tyres, which make this thing to go a little bit longer than KJ Gamer's, of course. So when he pits, will be up to him. As actually KJ Gamer shifting the inside there and does actually dive into the pits. So commentator's curse has come into effect here as the Mercedes driver pits on lap number 9. Into the pit box he comes. It will be a nose change. It will also be for a set of the soft tyres, which I'm not too sure he can take to the end. I think that might be a bit too much of a push for these tyres. It might be 17 laps or so, so maybe potentially could, but it'll be a bit of an ask for him, so we'll have to see how he gets on. As actually, remember, looking behind, TRPT starting to close up here by JSR Snakes, of course. 2 compound difference between them. KJ Gamer now re-exits the pits out of turn 1, and he's going to come out just ahead of this battle, so, you know, hasn't got to worry about these guys behind him. Of course, both men have been involved in incidents, so they'll both want to get a move on, get themselves back up through the field. So at the moment, the 2 Renaults, not a good start for them at all. They both started in 2nd and 3rd. They're now 9th and 10th. Not good at all by them. Jack RT, the only Sauber left, not having a too good day. And as well, WR Coffee, we're not really mentioning too much, making his debut today in the Toro. So currently sitting 12th. Not a good day at all for him so far. Had to make an early stop, I believe. So definitely not been his best day in the driver's seat. But he'll definitely be someone to look out for in future rounds, potentially. Few more Bennett, of course, he'll be right in the points and score some points in his debut, which I think, you know, good result considering. It's through towards turn number 20. You can see a lovely shot. That was actually the Renault of, I believe, it's Tommy. There, just about to come to the castle section. That was a nice little view cameras. You just saw Coxey as well. That's, of course, the man we're on board with. Currently 2 seconds behind the man in front of him, TR Dashers. There he is. There is the Williams, and you see just behind him the Ferrari of Enigma Art. No, Little Rise, sorry, my apologies. Got the driver wrong. Got the drivers the wrong way around. Through at turn 2 he comes, and it all looks okay for now. Got with both of these 2 do not have front wing damage, but are due for a stop sooner rather than later, or what will probably be their one and only stop if they can help it. Just damage is a possibility around here. It's not as if, you know, these lads, to keep it clean on this track all race, it just proves why you deserve to be near the front. That's what it's all about. That's why we love street circuits in Formula 1. 44.6 from PT as he sets their fastest lap, splitting, setting the times alight, and actually creates a gap now to JSR Snakes to be able to create a gap on 2, you know, worst compounds, on the worst compound the track had to offer compared to the best. You've got to say that is some mighty paces. Diablo dives in his, he's got more damage on that front right, so the Renault driver will now be outside the points, and most likely might come out behind the Toro Rosso WR Coffee as well, and it looks to be as if he's going to go onto the super soft tyres, so just to set some quick laps maybe, you know, get a decent fast paced stint out, as yes, he does get passed by Coffee. So WR Coffee now in a P11. As in, right, oh, he's banging in the wall there massively. Of course, he already has that damage massively. So it's not as if, you know, the day's not gone any worse for him. It's just continuing, as he's still out. He's still in 5th, you know, so he's still got a chance for a decent result. But of course, that massive amount of damage on that front wing, he's basically carrying a plank there. As the leader pits, the man who's not really been on board with this entire stint, the man who's just dominated this entire race, dives it in for his first stop. This will mean Coxey now adopts the lead because he's a pit, because Dasher does pit. It's soft tyres for Biffson, so I think you could take them to the end, maybe 15 laps. I reckon you could. And for Dasher, it will also be a set of the softs, but also a front wing change because we did pick up damage, which actually means that when Coxey comes in, he'll jump him in the pits. There's only about a 2-second gap between the Toro Rosso and the Williams, so, you know, this means now Coxey is in the race lead, but of course not effectively, because of course Smithson does technically. The 2 Ferraris now in a 2nd and 3rd. We're still yet to pit, but you've got to say Little Rise started in P13, is now 2nd place. I mean, what a race he's had. 3 seconds harmony for JSR Snakes in the Red Bull. He's now got to be concerned about the cars behind him, as that's Tomlinson behind him. They're up towards the leaders. We'll stick on Robert Coxey for now. He's had plenty of attention, but he's know a bit more. There's a bit of silence as we just continue to be on board with iCoxy, F1XL Man stream that is currently being hosted on F1XL, as well as, of course, via PT and as well, of course, myself, F1XL Nut Head. So he currently leads the race, which will probably make them lads happy as well. Tommy as well, another lad in 9th. For, of course, TR, PT, of course, streaming on behalf of Thrive Esports, Dasher and PT currently P5 and P6. And, of course, the rest of the field, Coxey currently leads, but, of course, there's still yet to pit. Little Rye and the current net race leader, VSR Smithson, leads this Grand Prix. Yellow flag in sector 1. What have we had? It was at a moment. It's WR Coffee, who has had, it looks to be as if he's just missed his braking zone in towards turn number 3. So it looks like he got away with it, but he does get passed by Diablo as the man who we believe to take P2 now, because of course Dasher did have that front wing change, dives into the pits, iCoxy, and I mean that just shows how much in the lead VSR Smithson is, because he's already jumped in. And it's soft tyres for the Toro Rosso driver, as TRPT has left the session. Yeah, whether he's had a disconnect, because he's currently only in P7, it's not as if his day is done, so we hope we get him back. KJ gave us into fast lap of 44.4 with 149, I believe. So good lap by the Mercedes driver as he through to the lap 4, and actually will surely pass now the AI car following us TR Dashes on. He'll get further away, but actually now JSR Snakes will easily pass TRPT as they come through turn number 2, so he'll not be very happy about that. We hope to see him back ASAP. Of course, he will lose a lot of time as his AI bobs it round around about 2 miles an hour. As KJ Gamer, I believe he might start to close up to TR Dasher. If he's setting fastest laps, he definitely will close up. Gap's currently 1.5 seconds on for turn number 6. And he seems completely in control of his car, seems nice and consistent, nice and well oiled. There's actually as well VSR Smith starting to close up to Enigmarati. Of course, he'll want to get that move done. To prevent himself being held up too much, and even potentially cause some damage, because of course, you know, with that front wing damage that he's carrying, actually Tommy just gets past PT's AI nice, and now I did just see an overtake, so I think maybe there's a bit of action, but no, it's just an AI car being passed. Which now just mean that if it does continue this way, Diablo might potentially come up into the points. So good effort by him. And as actually Smithson starts to close up here to Enigmarati, the come towards turn number 1. Question is, will he back the yellow flag in sector 3? Who have we had at a moment? Not really too sure. Might have been a bit of damage from someone potentially. Still there is that yellow flag. So does anyone have any damage? Doesn't look like it. Strange times going on. Anyway, up towards turn number 3 comes Smithson, and he wants to get a move on here past Enigmarati. Enigmarati's not even going defensive here. But Smithson doesn't go for a late lunge there. Instead lets Enigmarati run massively wide out of turn 3 and just take full advantage up towards turn number 4. The Ferrari driver does turn in though. He does his best to defend it around the outside. Will need to be careful, of course. He's already carrying out 2 shards of front wing damage, but in the end, Smithson gets past nice and easily and is up into P2 for now. So Mercedes up into what is technically P2, but of course still expecting Little Ride to come in. So it will be the race lead for the moment. 10 seconds behind him is Coxey, so we should expect to see him maybe catch up if not. He does not pit soon. Up through to the end of the castle section now. And it's looking tasty at the moment. Bit of a quiet time we have in this race for the time being. As VSR Smith starts to try and close up to the back of Little Ride, because those two are rather good friends. So those two will be, I'm pretty sure, pulling a party together discussing stuff. And maybe Little Ryan might dive it into the pits. His pit plate is on for this lap, so the question is, will he dive it in on lap number 13? It looks like he's not going to, so he stays out to start lap number 14. So whether he's actually just going a little bit longer so he can take super softs to the end of this Grand Prix. Bit of course, doing the strategy, most people prefer the other way round. So a bit of a different one. It's actually Enigmarati, his teammate, does dive it in, however, on lap number 13, about to start 14. Is that one? I mean, Coxey gets an easy pass. As it is a front wing change, of course, with that massive amount of front wing damage. He shouldn't be able to cope, and it is super softs as well for him. So Dasher will get past. KJ Gamer now in a P5. What about JSR Snakes? He actually dives in because he's on a plan to stop. So he'll probably go onto the soft tyres and take them tyres to the end. Gets the pit and stop mostly because he does have that 5-second stop and go to 7, which will now actually promote. It's Tommy up into P6 actually, because he just jumps an Enigmarati there, just about at the pit exit line. And actually PT as well will, as he's actually got back in, that's good to see. He'll actually come back in P8. Jack RT up into P9 for now. But yes, Tommy back up in P6, but around about 13 seconds behind it. KJ Gamer ahead of him, but Enigma RT, of course, coming out on the Superstars, he'll have to watch his back with Tommy, because of course he doesn't want to. Of course, Enigma RT will want to get a move on and want to get past. As we head back towards the leaders now. Little Roy, sort of a 7.3 second gap to Smithson, but the question is, will the lad dive it in? He comes through turn number 16 now. Through 18 and 19 he comes. Does look all nice and everything. It looks perfectly fine. It seems like as if he's managing that front wing damage rather well. Here we go, and he is into the pits. Little Roy in the fried dog of the pits. Actually, we do have a lap time. I don't have a big WR copy for versus me, but I don't think he's back into the race lead now. It's Smithson. So he will continue his domination of around about 12 seconds. It'll be super soft tyres for Little Roy. He exits his pit box now. Dasher, we're back up into P3, so the American back up onto the podium. KJ Gamer up into P4. What about Tommy? He looks to be way too far back. So Little Roy will come out in that nice little pocket of gap between himself and Tommy. But meanwhile, Ling Marati's all over the back of him. Down the inside goes the Ferrari. It should be a relatively easy move for him. Just back to the racing line before the braking zone. Of course, Tommy is on medium, so you would have expected him to get past anyway. But Ning Marati up into P6 and Tommy down to P7 for now. Just like the run of the DRS, but I think he's a little bit too far back to consider a move. Jack RT started close back, and TRPT as well for P8. Not really where I expect to see TRPT given where he was at the start of the race, but I mean, unfortunately, disconnect for him has cost him dearly. So he is now down in P8. Now we may actually start to catch up with Tommy if he, keeps the pace that he's shown so far. But he is indeed still, just a reminder, lap 15, Smithson who leads. Coxey in second, around about 9 seconds behind him. TR Dasher now down to P3 following that front wing change he'd have to make. KJ Gamer not too far behind him in P4, so he can potentially be a dark horse for this podium place as well with Little Roy. He's only around 5 seconds behind him. Enigma RT, his teammate, currently P6, the 5th and 6th for the 2 Ferraris. Then comes the Renault of Tommy on his debut. Then you've got the Williams and PT who had a very good start, but then it all just went a little bit downhill for him following that disconnect, which is a real shame. Then comes the Sauber of Jack RT. Then the last man in the points, JSL Snakes in the Red Bull, currently P10 on his 2-stop strategy. Then comes Diablo, who hasn't planned a 2-stop, but is on one. And lastly, WR Coffee is also on a 2-stop, but didn't plan it. There you go, that's the rundown of the grid. So currently it still looks to be as if Smithson has got this nice and tightly wrapped up in a lovely bow for the minute. He hasn't shown any remorse and just drove in with absolute consistency. But this is the battle we're really watching at the moment. These two of TR Dasher and KJ Gamer about to square off as Tommy dives it in. So whether he's going to want another set to maybe try and sort of push a little bit. I mean, PT does get past for P7 and Jack RT up to P8. JSL Snakes might just get ahead of him. He now comes towards turn 1. As in the pit box comes Tommy. It'll be a set of super softs for him. So just going to go for it here on what will be his second stop of the race. Does have a front wing change as well. So he did actually pick up a bit of damage there that we didn't notice. But now that means now JSL Snakes has got miles past. What about his teammate Diablo? As he comes up towards turn number 1. It looks to me as if Tommy is just about ahead of his teammate. So the two Renaults will go to blows for 1 point. Which, I mean, given where they qualified, you can't quite believe. Of course, they were second and third, and now all of a sudden they're battling for P10. This must feel like a massive down from grace, a massive fall from grace for them. Of course, the French team, we're hoping for a bit more of an improvement as the race draws to a close. Maybe potentially, we've still got around about 10 laps to go, so still a chance for anyone to make any mistakes, any incidents to happen, anything really to happen, of course, in the WXL second round. As in this main battle as well, this one's starting to spice up a little bit. TRPT against Jack RT, because Jack RT is on the soft compound tyres compared to PT's medium compound. So hopefully we might see this start to unfold for what is only P7, but he's still a fair amount of points. I mean, given the fact PT got a podium in his first race, he'll be looking to try and sort of stem that. Of course, poor disconnect from him. Not really his fault, but that does mean that he is now on the back foot. Of course, Jack RT does have the DRS, but it looks like he's miles too far back to go for a move. And actually, Jack RT instead she does it into the pits, and what will be his second stop. It won't be just be for a simple tyre change, will not be for front wing. This will mean JSR Snakes will be up into P8. Tommy might as well also jump in yellow flag sector 3, and it is Diablo with a massive crash at turn number 19. And that means we are down to 11. That's the second DNF we've seen from Diablo in the WXL out of 2. What a poor record that lad has on his cards, and he is out of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. That's not what you like to see, but that means WR Coffee will be up in the P11 for now. But Jack RT was actually jumped by It's Tommy in the pits, so Tommy up in the 9th, Jack RT down to 10th. And actually creates a bit of a gap now behind PT. Next car is Snakes, who's 13 seconds behind him. So we'll stick on board with this battle now for P3, TR Dasher against KJ Gamer. We are about to hit the hour mark in this stream, so thank you very much for joining us, everyone. And as here we go now through 18 and 19 they come. And of course, KJ Gamer does not have the advantage of DRS just yet. But he has sort of slowly creeped up, but it's sort of stopped a little bit now. It seems to me as if Dasher seems to have picked it up just that a little bit more. Still got a 6-second gap to Coxey, so it's very much doable. But he just needs to really turn on his afterburners to get that second place. And KJ Gamer currently bringing over 1st and 4th for the Mercedes, so that'll be a very good day for them. As actually Little Roy's starting to creep up on the back of him. So it's definitely not over yet for the Mercedes driver. He's definitely still got a chance at P3, but also still has a chance to drop position into P5, so he's got a lot of work ahead of him, ahead of these last 8 laps of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And what has been a rather thrilling race, but has calmed down a little bit now as everyone consistently steps in and the rhythm steps in and everyone sort of gets to really know one another in at this track. Of course, not an easy track for the second round, you've got to say. Second round of everyone getting to know each other in the WXL. And they all have to come and go. Tommy sets the fast lap of 43.1 there in P9, so he'll be happy with that. I mean, given where he qualified, it's probably a little bit of a sort of, you know, maybe a positive thing given what we've seen so far. A bit of a consolation for him. Under 2 seconds now for Little Rye as he continues to close up. The KJ Gamer was flawlessly taking that castle section. That was one of the best castle sections I've seen anyone take, really. So, good effort. As we come towards turn number 15 and 16, they ride over the inside curve just that little bit to make sure we sort of fling off it a little bit. Then up towards 16. This left-hander, which you can run wide on into the runoff. He gets onto the curve a little bit, but nice and clean from the Mercedes driver. 1.5 seconds is the gap to TR Dasher, and can he catch it? That's the question. He has closed up this lap, you've got to say, but as well, Little Ride closed up 3 tenths behind him as well. So it might be a three-way battle for the last podium place at the minute. But Dasher is slowly creeping up to Coxey, but there's only by about 3 tenths, which is nowhere near enough to close up that full gap to Coxey. Of course, he might make a mistake though, you never know. Coxey was with a DNF despite qualifying second at Australia, so it's not as if he hasn't made a mistake before. He's not a faultless driver, everyone's human in Formula 1. As they come towards turn number 3, this is really all we can keep our eyes on for the moment. It's actually Dash has got a little bit of a lap car issue in front of him. That's WR Coffee. He gets out of the way nicely in the end. And in the end, actually, oh, a really bad exit by KJ. I didn't quite realise that he's hit the wall out of turn 4. And actually, Little Ride take a full advantage and gets past. Front wing damage for the Mercedes driver, and he might have surely just blown his opportunity for a podium position. Little Ride now in a P4. KJ Gamer down to P5 and picks up another 3-second time penalty. Oh my goodness me. I mean, talk about a few corners gone wrong. I had no idea what happened to him then. I'll see if I can catch the replay on the stream that I'm viewing. From what I could see, he comes out of turn 4, and he just seems to, you can see it already on the replay camera, he just completely misses his braking zone, locks up, and ends up in the wall, and has front wing damage. And Little Ride just takes full advantage, getting the move done through turn 5 and 6, and is up into P4. The Ferrari driver now have a chance to snatch the podium from the Williams driver of Dasher. The pressure's on for the lad. Who will do it? That's the question. Lap 20 been initiated by VSR Smithson, who's still got a 10.2 second lead to Coxey, and has done everything he needs to do to grab this race victory. I'm sure Coxey will continue to look behind him because the gap's now 5.8 seconds to Dasher. So Dasher definitely not the quicker guy out of the two, but of course Little Roy starting to close up. But KJ Gamer does dive it in on lap number 20, which means Ining Marati will be up into P5. PT might potentially jump in here. There's Fromming change from him, but of course PT then has to defend him on the super soft tyres. So he's got a lot of work, and out of the pit box comes KJ Gamer. Of course, he's in the Mercedes, he's got the whole of the pit to go down, which means PT will jump him nice and easily. JSL's next just a little bit too far back to really, you know, come back at him, and KJ Gamer will just continue to get further and further and further away. Yeah, Heskey, of course you can, my friend. I will get you in, no worries at all. They come towards turn number 7. Onward with Little Rise still, so he's got a 3.5 second gap to the car. And the car ahead of him, you might think that's not 3.5 seconds, but that is actually the Toro Rosso WR Coffee, who was being lapped. Currently a minute behind the nearest car. We've got to say fair play to the lad for sticking it out, you know, it takes real commitment to do that. So fair play to the lad for this round, you know, maybe essentially in the future rounds, you know, see him maybe scrap away. Maybe this isn't quite one of his best tracks, so you know, maybe not quite the result he's hoping for, but definitely next time, heading into the next round of the championship. As WR Coffee gets in the way nicely there. And there's an old face I haven't seen in a while, Validated Viper. How are you doing, my friend? I hope you're well, haven't seen you in a long time. As we are still on board. Lap number 21 now, so only just about 6 laps to go, and it is indeed still Smithson leads from High Coxey. Then comes TR Dasher, Little Ride P4, then Marati in P5, but actually Little Ride 2.7 seconds behind Dasher. The pressure's on him. Can he get past? And can he... One thing to close up, another thing to get past, as they always say in Formula 1. So can he get past? The pressure will be on his shoulders to get a move done as soon as possible. Brief silence, we just stick on board. Oh, come on, Viper, you need to get the game. You need to get back in F1XL, my friend. But we're still here for the WXL, the World Acceleration League. Thank you very much for tuning in for the past 21 laps, and indeed past what has been a rather exciting race. 3 take entirely for Little Ride. That might cost him. Now, that might very well cost him. Massively. TR Dasher does not have a penalty. Little Ride now does. That's his first one of the race. And you've got to say, now the pressure's on him. Coxey and Smithson. I mean, Coxey just picked up his first warning, but them two are currently penalty-free. Here's a teammate in Marati penalty-free. PT penalty-free. KJ Gamer does have a penalty. JSR Snakes with a penalty to his name. It's Tommy with 1 penalty. Jack RT with no penalties. So, WR Coffee with yet to have one. So, not many people with penalties. The Little Roy has just picked up his very first. So now he's not only going to get past Dasher, he's also then got to get 3 seconds to him, as they're about to start lap number 22 for themselves. So 5 laps to go now. Not long at all left in this Grand Prix. It's definitely been a rather interesting one. I mean, as the race has sort of calmed down a little now, everyone's consistency's kicked in. Now it's all about keeping out the barriers and claiming what you have for the moment. As you've got to say, you know, VSR Smithson is definitely on for a fantastic result at the moment. He's currently set. He came into WXL. Everyone thought he was in one of the favourites, and he's definitely backed that up today. Yet again proven, and essentially could be 2 for 2 in the WXL, and going to be a championship contender surely. And will extend his championship lead actually as well, because of course Harley is out of this Grand Prix. He came second last time out. TR Pete came down in P6. So he will actually jump Harley. I believe actually move on to second in the championship. So actually as well, it's all sort of worked out nicely for him in the end. The Little Eye is doing his damn hardest here to try and close up to the back of TR Dasher for that final podium place, but they're still going to get past and then get 3 seconds. So the pressure is on the Ferrari driver to snatch that podium late on. through towards 16 he comes. Locking up a little bit. It's just a sign that he's absolutely gunning for it. Using Rich whenever he can, trying to stick it down at the moment. He actually does have a lot more fuel to burn off compared to Dasher. Dasher's got barely any sort of left in his tank, as he does indeed have about half a lap of extra fuel on top. He comes towards turn number 1. Over 6 in lean actually there for the end of the straight, so trying to get the best possible legs that he can out of turn 1. And then back up to Rich. He's using every single strategy he possibly can. He constantly changes his fuel mix and trying to get the best possible amount of traction, amount of speed, everything. He's so determined here to try and nick this podium place, but he's still got to get past. 4 laps to go, and the pressure's on. Who will get it? Will it be the Williams? Will it be excitement for the team in white and blue? And actually, Little Roy hits the wall. That might have cost him. That could have just cost him this podium place. He's clipped the wall and has front wing damage, which I already think he had. So I think that might be it. But the question is, it looks like he's managing it well. I don't actually realize he had damage on that front right. He clipped the wall there and gets away with it. Maybe that's why he's driving so much aggressive, trying to get every single thing he can, and even if that does mean picking on the eventual corner cut penalty. WL Coffee gets his first penalty. He's currently a minute and 8 behind anyone, not going anyone behind him. So he's okay. It's not going to affect him at all. And he'll be the only guy in the race to not score points who will finish. But still laps to go. As KJ Gamer actually is closing at the back of TRPT for that P6 towards the end of this race. We'll quickly flick to that, and yes, as you can see, the Mercedes driver is definitely close to the Williams, who has not had a good end to this race because the disconnect has not held one bit. You've got to say, you've got to feel sorry for the Williams driver. We'll definitely look forward to the next round. Up through this sequence of left-handers through 13, 14, then through 15, my apologies, from what corners are. There's actually much better exit from KJ Gamer. He's got down the inside of PT through turn number 16 and gets the move done for now. With the switchback, very much, and of course the DRS, this actual line is there. So in actual fact, PT will still get the DRS, and he'll take full advantage back down towards turn 1, and he can go on the offensive here. He will indeed. He's doing his best in the slipstream up towards turn number 1. He has the DRS enabled. Down the inside goes the Williams, and this could be an easy move back for PT for now. And indeed he is. He's back up in a P6. But KJ Emerson so much more defensive and nearly clips the inside wall there. That's how early he braked and how early he turned in. He almost clipped that inside wall. He's got to be careful. Out of 2 though he comes, and actually look at the better exit the Super Softs couldn't get. Up towards turn number 3. PT goes defensive. He's doing his damn hardest to hold that P6 for now. Down the inside will be P. Round the outside has to go KJ Gamer through turn 3. He might just about to eclipse the wall, but he gets away with it. So KJ Gamer back up into P6, but the switch fan might be on. But no, in the end the better tyres are so much more easier to manage, and KJ Gamer up into P6 after a fantastic bit of battling, bit of dueling between these two. It's lovely to see between the Mercedes and the Williams. Two guys have not had the best races, proving that yeah, we've still got it, we're still here. Putting on a decent display for P6, but the battle now goes up to PE's teammate TR Dasher, the other 5 lad, who's looking to nick that podium. But Little Roy has got to get past. Through turn number 19 he comes, now up towards 20. Here comes the DRS, here comes Little Roy. Can he get the move done? He's shifting to the inside, which now takes the outside. 4 turn 1, he's trying to go to the inside. Dasher saying absolutely having none of it, and saying that is my line, I will have that. Through towards turn 1, he got the DRS, 209 miles an hour braking towards turn 1. Much later braking from Dasher, squeezing him out wide, has contacted the wall, and Little Roy's round, and he's got no wheel. Little Roy on the penultimate lap has had a crash and has come together with Dasher, and he is out of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in dramatic fashion. Unbelievable. Little Roy out of this Grand Prix, teammate up in the P4 now, and surely Dasher is going to take this podium. All he's got to do is keep it on the track. I'm sure there'll be a stewards inquiry into that after this Grand Prix. But for now, Dasher has that P3 and surely has got one hand on that podium and surely one hand on the Rosewater. It's Dasher P3. Unbelievable scenes through turn number 1, and you cannot quite write that. The man battling for the podium, Little Roy, the Ferrari driver, has had an incident in the wall, and Dasher surely has an easy victory towards P3. And the Ferrari, it's despair for Ferrari, but it's glory for Williams. They've just got one more lap to survive, and he will take that P3, which, I mean, in theory, he's been in pretty much always. He could have got P2, but the front wing damage cost him dearly, and Icoxy has taken full advantage. The F1XL driver will surely take P2, but we'll stick on board with this man, a man who is absolutely dominated. He has not left the lead unless he is pit. On the laps that he pit, he was down the field. He got a fantastic return on Ignorati, and that's all he's had to do, really. Just kept it clean, kept it consistent. VSR Smithson is on for 2 for 2 here in the WXL in the second round. And it will surely be a second victory for Smithson in what will be surely a season that is set for domination at the moment. But he's got contenders behind him who will want to try and prove themselves. But Smithson has done everything he needs to do. He has had a faultless race. He has kept it clean, kept it consistent. He actually has damage on that front right, so maybe he's not been as cleanly consistent as I thought. I've not been on board with him pretty much, so I've not really seen anything. But he does have damage, but he's managed it well. He has drove nothing short of a sensational race. And it's surely going to be victory. Through turn number 7 he comes for the final time. And, well, what can you say to the Mercedes driver? And we've got to say as well, it's currently 1st and 5th currently for the two Mercedes. Actually gets more damage. He clips the wall again on the last lap. Oh, my goodness me. Can we be in for a surprise finish? It looks like he's going to just nurse it home. But he's got significant damage on that front right. Through turn number 15 he comes. He locks up. Skips across beautifully, though. Look at how nicely he's taken it, even with the front wing damage. Just a few corners to go for Smithson. And despite this front wing damage, he's still going to take the victory in spectacular fashion through the final few corners. This is where he's most likely to be hindered. Through, and he gets it still so nicely. Yes, he's not probably as quick as he should be. But up to the line comes Smithson, and the Mercedes driver is going to be 2 for 2. It'll be a fantastic result. VSR Smithson wins at Baku. Fantastic result for the driver in the Merc. He'll be ecstatic with that. Icoxy finally gets what he's done. Didn't quite manage it. And as Australia with an instance early on, but this time snatches P2 after starting P6. Fantastic job by the Toro Rosso. Ecstatic. TR Dasher on his debut in a surprise. No one expected it. One of the 2-5 lads in the Williams takes P3. But I'm sure there'll be some strong words in that commentary box in the podium questions after this race. It looks like it's going to be P4 for Enigmarati, which no one expects. Started 10th, finished 4th. Fantastic effort by the Ferrari driver. He'll be very happy with that result. Then comes the other Mercedes, 1st and 5th. That's not a bad day. KJ Gamer takes P5. TRPT, a man who should have really gone for a better result early on, takes P6 in the Williams. He won't be very happy about that. He was 1/10 off getting P5 because of the penalties, so close. But yet so far, JSR Stakes in the end takes P7 in the Red Bull. Then comes Tommy, and lastly, by no means least, Jack RT as well with WR Coffee in the end does score a point. He does get a single point. He'll be happy with that. And there we have it. That is the end of that. WXL, round number 2. And it's a British 1-2 with an American on the 3rd step. It's Smithson with a win. Coxey in the Toro Rosso in 2nd. And lastly, TR Dasher in P3. Fantastic driving by all 3 of them. And we will get these guys in for Podium Quest. Driver of the day for me, personally, I'm going to give it to Enigmarati. He was just someone who just sort of kept all 4 wheels on his car, really. And ended up with a very decent result of P4. So he'll be happy with that. So Enigmarati is my driver of the day. So we'll quickly get all the podium sitters in, hopefully. As well as, of course, Shimo Heskey to give his comments on the race as the owner. So we'll get everyone in. Right, so we'll swiftly start while we have the chance. Don't forget to include your order, guys. We will start with VSR Smithson, the race winner. Because, of course, he did just request it. Even though he said my mic's not on, I will still say that. Smithson, first of all, first question for you. How on earth did you keep yourself entertained? You were just so quick.
I don't quite know, to be honest.
So, Mom, don't talk to me right now. I'm kind of doing something.
Okay. I was just talking to Harley and Jack most of the race, really. Yeah, nothing much else to say on that one.
Yeah,
it was just kind of
It was a bit of a easy race for you. Let's put it that way. Second question for you. Let's see come about. Obviously, you've actually picked up damage. I don't know actually really sure what happened there.
I did.
But was that near the end, or what actually happened?
Yeah. Do you know the absolute messed up downhill left-hander going into the last sector? Do you know the really tricky one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
15.
that one. I ran wide. Yeah.
Oh,
that. Yeah. I ran wide, just brushed a wall. Funnily enough, as my mum was ringing me on the intercom, because I need to go and get in the shower, because yeah, I've been heavily instructed. So.
But yeah,
that was why I just lost complete concentration and put it in the wall. Luckily, it was only light green, so that's kind of saved by the F1 gods. Yeah,
a little bit. And I mean, I did see you picked up a bit more on the castle section on the last lap, which did actually prompt me to get a bit excited. So all Coxie might catch, but you kept it clean, you kept it consistent, and I will leave you to let yourself go, because I will want to get on to talking to Dasher, and of course I'm sure the league owner Shamil Heskey will sure want to put his opinion as he always does. So Smithson, congratulations on your victory.
Yeah.
I shall leave you to go.
Thank you very much,
my friend, and best of luck next week.
Cheers.
Dasher,
you guys.
First of all, my friend. No, it's alright, man. Don't you worry. We understand it does happen. I've had it before in stream, so we've had it on com once.
I thought I needed my mic, but
yeah, don't worry. So make sure your order's included for this bit. But yeah, first of all, my friend, congratulations on P3 and what is actually technically your WXL debut. So of course, you and your teammate, the two Thrive lads in the Williams, grabbing a brilliant job. And actually, you could have potentially had more, but of course your teammate with slight issues. First question for you, my friend. What was sort of your strategy going into this race? Of course, first race in here, pressure was a little bit on, of course, because your teammate was very high up, performing. How exactly did you approach this race?
I'll be honest with you. I had kind of forgotten about this till like yesterday. I had no practice. I hadn't driven on this track since season 14 of AOR, which was quite a few months ago now. But I think I remembered that it was. I mean, this league. To be fair, I don't really think it's super extreme. I think it's just sort of a way to have fun, and I think these podium interviews are pretty cool. So. I was just keeping a level head. I mean, I was talking to my Thrive teammate, and he could have done pretty well. And there he is. So yeah, just talking to him and just sort of having fun. And I mean, it was just more like just making sure to enjoy myself and making a good practice for AOR season 15 coming up here pretty soon.
Of course, yeah, that's definitely a way to go about it. It's nice to always see, you utilise this league quite well. It's good to know you have a bit of fun. That's what we're all about at the end of the day. That's what league racing's all about. That's what I always say. It's nice to have a bit of fun. Second question for you is actually about a bit of a controversial one. Your incident with Little Rye, with 2 laps to go. You two had a slight come together. Give us your thoughts on the incident. I'm sure we'll hear about it in the stewards' inquiries and stuff after the race. But what was your view of what actually happened?
So I had fueled up my car a little bit for the race, knowing I needed rich mix down that main straight, which is where you get all those big toes, and he certainly did on that lap. And I had actually run out of rich mix with a few laps to go, and I had noticed like about 2 laps before he had went for that move that he was getting up on me. And so yeah, I was in standard. I had about 0.6 to use for that straight, and I did. But he was still able to get alongside me all around the outside, and he had just barely cleared me. I think my heart rate still might have been on his diffuser. So I knew if I had given him that space, then he would have ran away with it. So I dove it up his inside. It looked like I had given him enough room on my screen, but then I saw him hit the wall and then slide into the inside wall as well. So there was no lag involved with it. I'm not going to use that as an excuse, but Yeah, the next thing I'm going to do after this is go apologize to him, as he is in my tier for AOR Season 15. So it's not a great way to start off your relations with someone new. But, yeah, I just think it's more of a racing incident, really. But, I mean, if I get a penalty, I won't really be too angry about it.
Yeah, no, well, that's fair enough. At least you come out and be honest, you know. That's good when sometimes people always try and make up excuses like it is lag or something like that. But it's good to know that you're just up front and just say, yep, no, that's fine. I do like it when people do that. That sort of does make my job a little bit easier. And tell you something, when you're doing commentaries and then you do have a bit of beef in the chat. That's one of the hardest things to deal with. But yeah, no, I'm glad that you came up front. And actually, I haven't got any more questions for you, my friend. But congratulations on P3 today. P3 today. Fantastic results. Shame we can get Coxie because unfortunately he doesn't have a microphone. But congratulations again. Best luck for next week. I look forward to seeing hopefully decent results with both your teammate and yourself, the 2 Thrive lads. I will call you that. It won't be Williams racing, it'll be the 2 Thrive lads in the Williams. So that's what it'll be. But yeah, congratulations once again, my friend, and we will move swiftly along to the league owner, who would like to give his comments, his views, as he always does. Shmuel Heskey, first of all, my friend, welcome. I hope you enjoyed the race from the lovely spectator side, sitting back, relaxing, enjoying my commentary. But yeah, my friend, please give us your thoughts on that race.
Well, yeah, of course, always get a wonderful kick of adrenaline at the start of the race. It was quite interesting. Had his fair share of incidents. Had some great battles out there. Some guys failed to keep it clean, and especially turn 2. Not going to mention names, but it was a bit iffy at the front. Great to watch, actually, to see everybody battling. But yeah, I mean, the race was quite boring in the middle. I mean, as a spectator, it wasn't the most thrilling things. But yeah, it was nice to see Ethan recover up to his positions after disconnect, and nice to see Jake up there. I knew he'd be on the pace straight away, and certainly a title challenger from my perspective. And yeah, in general, not as good as Australia, but good turnout, and nevertheless an okay race.
Indeed it was. Indeed it was. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. Obviously in the middle, well, it did get a bit boring in the middle, but what can I say? It's that's the point of an F1 league race, really. You know, it's what normally happens. But yeah, no, I'm glad that you enjoyed it. I'm glad that I hope everyone who tuned in, whether you tuned in through the wonderful man Ethan TRPT for hosting my stream. I do appreciate that, my friend. That was very nice of you to do that. As well, F1XL, as usual, appreciate you guys hosting it after the podcast of F1XL Extra, which of course includes me. So do give that a look if you are interested. And as well, of course, thank you to those who just tuned in just by looking for the WXL and fancied a cheeky look. We always do appreciate the support, and that will actually conclude the stream. So there you have it. 2 from 2 for VSR Smithson. So what can you say other than surely championship contender? But he's got some close competition behind him in PT, in Dasher, in Coxie, in numerous lanes. I could keep going on through the list. But that has been the end of a rather cagey Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Thank you very much for joining me for the second round. Don't forget to tune into Enigmarati if you are going to watch him on the YouTube. Don't forget to tune into this stream because it will be uploaded, of course, onto there. Thank you very much for watching, guys. We'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.